Hi, my name is Mary. Today FM plays the best music in Lambasa. Today FM rocks.
My name is Thomas. I'm here in Nakasi and I like to listen to Today FM because it rocks.
My name is Milenia. Today FM rocks here in Singatoka.
My name is Elkriki and Today FM rocks here in Tabwa.
My name is Mary Jane. I love listening to Today FM here in Ba. Today FM rocks.
My name is Ilay Tiambal and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks here in Osur.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, new high-tech equipment to catch smugglers. Slow start to Lambasa crushing. A National Women's Expo gets underway in Suva.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
With a growing need to protect Fiji from drug traffickers and dishonest traders, the latest non-intrusive inspection X-ray technology has been brought into the country to strengthen port security. While the equipment was officially commissioned at the Suva Wharf today, the Fiji Revenue and Customs Services confirmed to FBC News that in the last few weeks they have used it to scan 80 containers and have found anomalies in 21 of them. Pranita Prakash reports.
With around $100 million worth of drugs seized at our borders in the last 2 years, Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama has emphasized on the need to protect Fijians from lawbreakers.
There's an enormous body of evidence that shows when drugs pass through nation borders, innocent people become the victims. Young people get access to hardcore drugs, placing them one bad decision away from destroying their entire lives.
The Prime Minister says this latest high-tech mobile equipment will strengthen law enforcement at ports of entry.
Equipped with this new technology, we'll be able to quickly scan loads of cargo, containers or pallets without ever having to actually open them up, making clearance more accurate by reducing human error and more efficient by allowing for faster clearance.
It has capability to detect organic and metal and other stuff. So what happens is, what we do is we do profilings of shipments coming in, and based on the profilings, depending on how we classify them as high risk, then we put them through the mobile container X-ray.
With scans from the new equipment indicating anomalies in 21 containers, those will now be further investigated. When he commissioned the equipment this morning, the Prime Minister said this will be an added tool to protect Fijians. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
The Lambasa sugar mill is now open for crushing despite the lack of cane supply. The Fiji Sugar Corporation is optimistic of a good season. Eleanor Tarangaivi reports.
The tipping of the first load of cane marks the official starting of the 2019 crushing season here at the Lambasa sugar mill. Though the mill looks empty with the lack of cane supply, there is optimism from the Fiji Sugar Corporation.
We strive to get better year after year. And one thing Team Lambasa can do, it'll rise to the challenge and always do better than they have done before.
FSC CEO Graham Clark says they've implemented programs to address the deficiencies they have identified at the mill.
We have a lot of new equipment in the factory, virtually a brand new milling tandem, new equipment in all the mills, and we certainly hope for a much improved and much better season this year.
Officially opening the crushing season today, Lambasa Ratuchone Ngomate says the sugar industry will need the dedication and commitment of farmers to survive.
May you have a successful start to the 2019 crushing season with minimal disruption, of course. May you also end the season successfully in crushing all available standing cane.
The Lambasa sugar mill crushed a total of 620,000 tons of cane in the 2018 crushing season. Eleanor Turangaiviu, FBC News.
The Fiji Sugar Corporation, the Land Transport Authority and the Lambasa Cane Lorry Operators Association met today to address the grievances of lorry drivers with regards to weight restrictions. Lorry drivers made a collective decision yesterday not to deliver cane at the start of the crushing today unless they get a solution from LTA. Eleanor Tarangaiviu reports.
Held behind closed doors at the Lambasa mill premises, the meeting between the Fiji Sugar Corporation, the Land Transport Authority and the Lambasa Cane Lorry Operators Association ended on a good note.
We came to a very amicable solution.
Cane lorry drivers are asking for leniency from the Land Transport Authority in the loading of cane. They are allowed 16.5 tons per load with a maximum height of 11 feet and width of 3 meters. But over the years, they have been given leniency and allowed more. Now the LTA is putting its foot down.
Our only request is any lorry within that perimeter, height and weight, if the weight varies, they should not be booked. Because we cannot do any scaling of the cane on the farm.
The Cane Lorry Operators Association will meet its members in Lambasa tomorrow to relay to them the outcome of the meeting.
The weight restriction will be same because that has been on the paper since very long. So we'll have to abide by it.
The Land Transport Authority has given the cane lorry operators a grace period of 3 weeks in which they will be allowed excess weight while they discuss a possible solution. The lorry drivers are penalized $1,000 for every extra ton of cane they carry. Eleanor Turangaiwiu, FBC News.
Refurbishment of the Fiji military forces infrastructure will now slow down due to the cut of its budget by more than $7 million. Speaking to FBC News, RFMF Commander Rear Admiral Viliame Naupoto says they will reduce the cost of restoring and upgrading work currently underway. Ana Ravulo with the details.
Cutbacks will be visible for the Fiji military forces after their budget went down from $103.3 million for last year to $95.5 million this year.
RFMF infrastructure is so old, and over the years what we have been doing, and we've been asking money to allow us to repair and refurbish all these the quarters and the office spaces that we have. It is that area that will be reduced a little bit, slow down, and hopefully we can pick it up again next year if the economy is well up again.
Naupoto confirms that salaries for military officers will not be affected in any way. However, there will be some projects put on hold.
A bit of rearrangement needs to be done as far as which infrastructure is to be repaired first, and some have to be put on hold. But it doesn't affect us too much.
The new budget will allow the military to do its job in the country and also support troops serving in 5 peacekeeping missions. Ana Ravulo, FBC News.
A total of 500 women artisans from all 4 divisions across Fiji gathered at Laucala Bay, Suva today for the National Women's Expo. Opening the 3-day event, First Lady Sarote Conrote says the government is committed to helping women contribute to economic growth. Kelly Vadala reports.
The 5th National Women's Expo is an innovative intervention in terms of the economic empowerment of rural women artisans.
The National Women's Expo offers women an opportunity to refine their designs and business management skills through product quality control, packaging and labeling, certification, licensing and financial literacy assistance.
Minister for Women Maraseni Vuniwanga says the expo aims to connect rural women artisans to local and overseas markets.
The Fijian government promotes women's economic empowerment, especially that of our women living in rural areas and maritime zones, in recognition of the fact that women make enormous contributions to economies.
With this year's expo theme, Think Equal, Build Smart and Innovate for Change, many women have turned up with expectations.
The things we are selling here are from the women's group in Moala. I have used my skills to weave various types of mats, jewelry and house ornaments. I plan to take the money I earn here and buy paint for my house back in the village and also some parts for my new flush toilet.
I wish to get a Fijian made sticker. I'm competing for that. It will be a good achievement for my business.
I believe our skills have the ability to generate income for the government, our church gatherings and family.
One thing in common for most of these women is to earn as much as they can in the 3-day event, not only to help their business, but also meet the needs of their various families. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
Kelly Vadala now joins us live from the FMF Gymnasium. Kelly, what's different in this year's Women's Expo?
Jackie, 500 women artisans this year is a massive number compared to the 2018 National Women's Expo, which saw 340 women who collectively raised more than $430,000 of total sales. The numbers itself speaks volume of the event and how it's generating a lot of interest from local and overseas markets. Another milestone in this year's expo is the graduation program for women artisan. 5 women have successfully secured markets and have ventured into their own businesses. Each and every woman artisan brings different designs and skills to the expo, and it shows in the products they're selling here at an affordable price, from mats, beddings, ornaments, house ornaments and jewelry. The event ends on Friday and people still have time to come down to Lothalla Bay to check out the expo. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Kelly. Still to come, increase in counterfeit mobile products. An alleged murder trial transferred to High Court. Details after the break.
Nambula FM, nambandua na sere.
Hoya uvasit sai sai lambasa, ya ndo talita ina warong Nambula FM nambandua na sere.
Guya do tumeli ako na tao no hinga toka. Talita kina na warong Nambula FM, nambandua na sere.
Wana tunga Nambula FM, nambandua na sere nambuan.
Na event go fani na tao.
The Ratumara Road in Nambour is now open to all traffic. A portion of the road was closed at midday after an electric pole fell across following an accident. FBC News was at the scene and noticed the pole was broken in half, with Energy Fiji Limited workers clearing up the damage. The Fiji Roads Authority says motorists still need to exercise caution as the Nausori-bound traffic has been reduced to a single lane until midnight. Meanwhile, police are still awaiting a formal report regarding the incident. Numerous complaints in relation to counterfeit mobile phones continue to be registered, says the Consumer Council. The council watchdog says they have received more than 600 complaints since 2014 that amounted to more than $100,000. But the council believes these are only reported cases. Details with Felipe Naikaso.
The high purchase of counterfeit mobile phones is a concern, and this workshop aims to look at ways to help consumers.
The nature of complaints that we have received include fake mobile phones. Consumers have purchased mobile phones not knowing that it was fake. They only found out later after the phone failed, or when they took the phone out of the box and they realized that it did not appear to be this genuine item. They've also had issues with mobile phones with the chargers. So the counterfeit of mobile phones is not only restricted to the phone itself, but to the charger.
The council believes the desire to own a new product or the prominent brand could be a main reason behind this.
However, we hope to educate consumers on why that should not be an option because of essentially the substandard products and the substandard performance of these phones.
The issue of counterfeit phones in Fiji is not new, as the council has received numerous complaints over the years from Fijians.
It's really getting very bad because, you know, the counterfeiters are producing huge amount of counterfeit mobile products with the sub-quality or substandard quality part that is being used on that.
The consumers are being urged to always remain vigilant when buying products. Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
The case of a 27-year-old Kandavu farmer charged with murder has been transferred to the Suva High Court. Mosese Koroi Singambalavo was alleged to have assaulted his 23-year-old pregnant de facto partner in Asese last week, resulting in her death. Defense counsel asked the magistrate if he could make orders for proper security for his client in the remand centre because of many threats. Singambalavo has been further remanded and the case will be recalled in the Suva High Court on the 26th of this month. The trial date of a 36-year-old pastor charged with rape will be decided in August. Ravinesh Chand from Nandali Nausori is charged with 3 counts of rape, 1 count of indecent assault and 1 count of sexual assault. It is alleged in April he raped a 15-year-old student member of his Luvu Luvu congregation in Nausori. The state requested time to file information and disclosures. The matter has been adjourned to August 16th for pre-trial conference, when a trial date will also be fixed. Over 350 people from around the region will take part in the first Pacific Skills Summit hosted by USP at its Lothalla campus. The summit will focus on equipping young people with the vital skills needed to work in the region. Koroi Tandulala reports.
Pacific Island Private Sector Organization Chief Executive Alicia Tunga says this summit will identify, assess and develop existing skills targeting specific labor markets.
And how do we address this question against the backdrop of climate change and opportunities for labor mobility, both of which have become push factors for the more skilled of our people to take their skills abroad? This summit aims to address such issues and, more importantly, provide solutions through advocating a net skills gain.
Launched in Nauru last year, the program advocates the strategic importance of skills development in realizing regional and developmental efforts.
The Pacific Skills Summit was one of 3 deliverables that was announced under the Pacific Skills Partnership, which was launched by His Excellency Baron Wanga, the President of Nauru, at the 49th Pacific Islands Forum.
Tunga says they're also trying to minimize the loss of skilled laborers to overseas markets. The 2-day summit will start on the 25th of this month. Koroi Tandulala, FBC News.
Later in sports with Jamie, Semi Randrandra sponsors Sevens tournament in Taveuni, but first, Rachel with the latest in business.
Thanks, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up after the break. Festival aims to raise money for Children's Park. And in growing Fiji, Gounder shipping concerned with vandalism. Stay with us.
For the best classic hits, I only listen to Gold FM here in Singapore. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Seni Rawa. I love listening to Gold FM here in Nosuri. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Dino. I'm from Outrigger, Coral Coast, Singapore. I love listening to Gold FM. Only the classic hits.
My name is Salote. I love listening to Gold FM here in Missouri. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Bula, my name is Marida. Gold FM plays the best classics here in Outrigger.
Leading business tonight, the Vodafone Nasinu Festival is attracting a lot of crowd with the theme Fighting Non-Communicable Diseases Through Healthy Living. Along with advocating healthier food at the festival, the organizing committee chair says they aim to collect 50k to build a children's park. Savaratambua reports.
Since NCDs are common killers, the committee believes that there is a need for more parks and sporting facilities.
This is one area where we strongly feel that NCD can be tackled, though not completely, but there's a part to be played in helping combat the killer disease.
According to Kama, stall owners are also advised to sell more fruit and vegetables during the festival.
When they come to acquire a stall, we told them that in particular for this year's festival, the theme is Fighting NCD through healthy living. And that of course include food preparations.
It is important because it is promoting healthy living.
The theme is very relevant, especially with a lot of diseases that are faced by the population.
Different food items have been sold here at the valley level ground. However, the need for stall owners to promote healthy food is vital. Meanwhile, the Sinu Festival will end this Saturday. Samira Tambua, FBC News.
And Sharon from HFC Bank joins us now with the latest from the trading world.
Market sentiment remains fragile ahead of the Group of 20 summit in Japan. Investors are hoping it could provide a breakthrough in stalled trade talks between the US and China. In bonds market around the globe, traders are acting as if central bank rate cuts are only a rubber stamp away from becoming a reality. The focus is now on the US Federal Reserve's next policy meeting on June 18 to see what kind of signal the central bank can offer on the direction of US monetary policy. Meanwhile, in Australia, the measure of their consumer confidence dipped in June as a run of disappointing data on the economy overshadowed a cut in interest rates and a hint of stability in housing prices. And that's all from HFC Bank for now. Vinaka.
Thanks, Sharon. On to today's exchange rates as it was set this morning. The Fiji dollar was generally on the rise today. It gained against 6 of the 7 currencies we cover, only showing a slight dip across the New Zealand dollar. Looking at the commodities market, oil prices were down at $52 per barrel. Gold rose about $3 to close at $1,332 an ounce, and silver rose but was fairly steady at $14.81 per ounce. And in Going Fiji tonight, the vandalizing of ships servicing the outer island is a concern for the Gounder Shipping Limited. Managing Director George Gounder says they maintain the vessels to provide the best services, yet passengers damage seats, tables and other items. Gounder says the company has invested millions of dollars in meeting the demand for inter-island shipping services to Vanuatu, the Lomaiviti Group and the Lau Group.
I encourage the travelling public, when they're on board, please don't vandalize the vessel. And I respect the vessel, respect the owners. It's cost a lot of money to get vessels in. So once you're on board, enjoy the vessel. Don't vandalize the vessels.
And that's a wrap from the business desk for tonight. Jamie's up next with sports.
Thank you, Rachel, and good evening. Up ahead in sports, John McKee clarifies Ngera's exclusion from World Cup squad. An England-based footballer back in the country to prepare for Pacific Games. This and more coming up.
Hi, I'm Jyotishma. I'm from Singatoka. I love listening to Mirchi FM. Mirchi FM is hot.
Mirchi FM is #1.
I'm Charlene Robert. Mirchi FM rocks in Lambasa.
I'm Soname Nasori Jackson. Mirchi FM is hot.
My name is Raymond Dutt. I'm in Baba Singh Alliance. Mirchi FM is hot in Lambasa.
I'm Kritika from Jax Nasori. I love listening to Mirchi FM here in Nasori. Mirchi FM is hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Fiji Airways Flying Fijians coach John McKee has explained his decision to omit Akapusi Ngera from his World Cup extended squad. Ngera, who is playing for English club Hartpury and will not make a fourth World Cup appearance. John McKee says the former Flying Fijian skipper's current form is no match for the quality loose forwards in their prime that he's selected.
Akapusi's been a great player for Fiji, and you know, it was a really tough decision not to include him in the 50 players. But you know, when I look at the players we do have in the back row, you know, I think Akapusi is just lacking a little bit of form now compared with the the likes of Liami Mata, Semi Kunatani, Nemani Nagusa, Thaliato. We've got some very dynamic players in very good form.
Nandi may have finished fourth on the Skipper Cup points table, but they're expected to be a different beast altogether against favourite Suva in their semi-final clash. The two teams face off this Saturday at Ratu Dakambao Park, with Nandi making its return to the playoffs after 4 years. Aquila Dama with this report.
Just 5 days ago, Suva thumped Nandi in its last round of Skipper Cup, and the two teams will return to the same venue for a semi-final clash.
4 years, then we march again into the semi-final. The last time Nandi was in the semi was in 2015, and we've regrouped last year, and fortunately we managed to meet our target this year, which is a top 4, and we march into the semi-final again.
One thing is sure, Nandi will be a different team altogether.
This week we're leaving no stones unturned. The theme of our preparation this week is to go and rock the boat. Suva is a team to beat. No doubt about that. They're the team to beat. They're the defending skipper champions. Lays with Lutui's rep. Likewise, top of the points table leaders. And Nandi's on the 4th spot. But as we know that, with rugby in Nandi, it's always in our blood. It's in our DNA. And when Nandi reaches the semi-final, it's a different team altogether.
Even Flying Fijians coach John McKee is looking forward to the semi-finals.
Suva have really led the way all season. They've played quite well, and going through unbeaten, of course, it justify be qualifying for the finals in the #1 spot. Nandi, I think starting the season fantastically early on, and probably a little mid-season slump, but they seem to be coming back to some form now.
Suva will host Nandi at Ratu Dakambao Park in Osore at 3 p.m. on Saturday. Aquila Dama, FBC Sports.
Queen Victoria Schools under-18 rugby side upset Leilene Memorial with an 8-3 win in the second round of the Eastern Zone Secondary Schools competition this afternoon. Leilene had defeated 2019 Dean's champions Ratu Kandavulevu School just last week. The Leilene side dominated most parts of the first half with solid defense. However, poor discipline allowed QBS the opportunity to score their lone try through Setereki Dhongambula. Leilin got their only points through a penalty in the second half.
It's quite uplifting for the boys in particular, having to know that it's a matter of faith in themselves, it's a matter of discipline, and it's a matter of working together as a team.
It's really difficult to play against the KBS and RKS, but with the boys that we have in our team, we know and we believe in the boys that they can do the job on the field.
Former Flying Fijian centre Gabi Lovombalavu will return to French rugby. He's one of 12 players to leave the Wasps and return to France, where he had successful spells with Toulon and Bayern. Fiji-born rugby sensation Semiran Randra is giving back to his community in Taveuni by sponsoring a sevens tournament to be played next weekend. In the wake of some negative attention to Christophe Gamel, Fiji National Sports Commission Chair Peter Mazie has praised the national football coach. Mazie says Gamel's hard work has helped improve Fiji's FIFA rankings. The team has not lost any of its last 4 international friendly matches, and Mazie says reports about Gamel from Fiji football have been good. His comments come after Gamel was recently penalized for arguing with match officials during a game against Tahiti in Vanuatu. Mazie says this incident should not overshadow the coach's achievements.
Chris has managed to bring our team up. We are seeing our rankings improve, and that's why we put in international coaches. It was the reason government looked at this initiative some years ago. The results are good, and this proves it. How these teams are performing is great.
Fiji-born England-based footballer Scott Warra is back in the country. FBC Sports understands Warra is here to join the national squad preparing for the Pacific Games. He debuted for Fiji in September last year in a 1-1 draw against the Solomon Islands as a half-time substitute for Narendra Rao. Meanwhile, the national football side arrives back tonight from the Tri-Nation Series in Vanuatu. Lionel Messi has been named the world's highest-paid athlete by Forbes magazine. Barcelona and Argentina forward Messi earned £99.8 million in the past 12 months, equivalent to approximately 242 million Fijian dollars. Juventus' Portugal forward Cristiano Ronaldo was listed as the second highest paid athlete on $210 million, and Paris Saint-Germain's Brazil forward Neymar Jr. in third with $200 million. Serena Williams is the only woman in the top 100, earning 55 million Fijian dollars last year. This year also marks the first time footballers have ranked as the top 3 earners in sports. The ICC World Cup match between Bangladesh and Sri Lanka was called off due to continuous rain, leaving both teams disappointed to share the points on offer. $30,000 in cash sponsorship has been received by the organizers of the annual South Pacific Bowling Carnival ahead of its 64th event next year. Games Vice President Litia Tikoisuba says the funds were received from Geotech Drilling International and will help lift the standard of the competition. Registration has started, and Tikoisuba confirms teams from across the Pacific are already showing interest. The 64th South Pacific Bowling Carnival will be held at the Suva Bowling Club around July next year.
Only the first 32 that enters will get through to next year's carnival. Now we're actually expecting a team from Australia, New Zealand, the Pacific Island countries, because people are already calling in regards to next year's carnival.
That's it from sports tonight. You can join Angie later on with weather and then new media. The new Bose noise-cancelling headphones 700 have been revealed. That's coming up.
मैं नवनीत नंद नंबुआ लुम्बुआ से जैसे फ्रेंडी नोट मशहूर है वैसे रेडियो फिजी 2 भी सभी जगह मशहूर है। रेडियो फिजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
सीमा नकाशी से मैं रेडियो फिजी 2 पसंद करती हूँ सुनने के लिए। रेडियो फिजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
मैं हूँ अंकल किंग सिंगाटोका टाउन के टैक्सी ड्राइवर। जैसे रग्बी फेमस है वैसे रेडियो फिजी 2।
It's weather time now with Angie.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. A slight improvement in today's weather situation. Sunny spells are gradually entering the picture. Good sunny days are returning.
A look in the west, quite warm with sunshine fulfilling its duty. Eastwards from Pakhawa to Suva, little muggy with cooler conditions expected by night. And up north, quite mild with showers also expected. At sea, easterly winds 10 to 15 knots, moderate seas. For the tides, low tide at 9:30 p.m. with high tide at 3:52 a.m. Sunrise at 6:35. For tomorrow, our favorite condition is making a comeback. Remember the cool winds blowing by, but it's still sunny? Yes, exactly that one. Tomorrow's temps, major centers will be mild at low 30s. And looking further on to Friday, I'm so thrilled for the clear sunny spells. I'm sure Jackie has a lot of plans in store. And it's back to you.
Thanks so much for that, Miss Blue. And in Fijian Pulse tonight, we asked what more should be done to help our women artisans find market for their products.
I think the government should make more initiatives to help these women.
The Fijian government should create more local markets and limit import in terms of overseas markets coming into our shop.
I think with assistance from the concerned ministries, there should be more awareness created. I think we should have more expos for these women.
Recapping the main stories for tonight, new high-tech equipment to catch smugglers, slow start to Lambasa crushing, and National Women's Expo gets underway in Suva. For these stories and others, tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. Our poll question this week, we're asking, are we on the right track in banning single-use plastic? Visit our FBC website to answer. And our shot of the day sent in by Yonesh Maharaj, the sky taking a yellowish shade as the sun goes down, captured at Laudala Bay. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj, share it via Facebook page FBC News, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, stay safe. Good night.
Bula, neva ngomal kay leloma, ngongai nakas ondo magrong ng Bula FM, nambando ay nasere.
Hoya ubasit sai Lambasa, ya ondo talita ina warong ng Bula FM, nambando ay nasere.
Guya do tumeli ako na tao no hinga toka, talita kina na warong ng Bula FM, nambando ay nasere.
Wala na tunga ng Bula FM, nambando ay nasere namalwan.
Na vengo fane na tao ne ngo singa toka, kita ondo talita ka ng Bula FM, nambando ay nasere.
Bula FM, nambando ay nasere.